Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's do a reading and check in on how you can make this lunar eclipse energy on September 7th work for you. Hello all, I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to this Transformational Tarot special edition. And we are going to be talking about the lunar eclipse and all of its delicious energies and how you can make these energies work for you. And I decided to do sort of an elements reading. So earth signs, you guys are all grouped together, and this is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We are going to be pulling cards from the Star Seer Tarot. And without further ado, let's get to it. So I woke up in the middle of the night last night with the idea to do this. So I've kind of thrown it together a little bit, but I've got some pretty cool questions that help us to get right to the heart of it. So the first question is, what fears are you being freed from during this lunar eclipse season? Oh, interesting. 4 of Cups. So I feel like for you guys, there's been a lot of despondency. There's been a lot of boredom. There's been a lot of delay in your life. A lot of 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Or I like to say gas pedal, to the floor, but the car is in park. And this has been very frustrating. This has been, the things that maybe you could use a little pause or a little break on have been going full speed. And the things that you really want to advance into and to have more of, everything seems to be, delayed. Everything is slowed down. And it's kind of, I want to say it's dulled your palate a little bit. Well, I feel like when we're talking about this in terms of fear, the fear is that this is going to be your life for the rest of your life. This is what is being released. And oh my goodness, could we have a more exciting message? I don't think so. Let's get rid of this entirely. I love that this particular card, normally we see her under a tree, or we see him under a tree. And, he's again, looking despondent, not paying attention. And then there's the hand that comes out of the tree to provide the glass. What I'm feeling here is that he's on the rock and the water is all around. So instead of being under that tree, he's on this solid rock. And I feel like that's the important thing to keep in mind is you've been building foundation. Now, it's not very comfortable, the foundation, but you're also ready, if you need to take a leap into the ocean of emotion. You don't have to, because you've kind of already done all that work. And you've discarded the cups. The cups are floating in the ocean of emotion. You've let it go. This feels almost like you've chosen the next cup. This is saying to you, don't be afraid to trust that the cup that you've chosen is going to pan out. Even though these other 3 have not, this one is going to pan out. So don't be afraid to dream. I feel like that's the fear that you are releasing at this time. That's really cool. What can you intentionally benefit greatly from during this lunar eclipse? So, what is it that you're going to say yes to? What is it that you're going to say? I set the intention that this is how I'm using this energy. Interesting. 5 of Swords. So I feel like for you earth signs, it's not about the conflict as much as it's about you knowing that you're going to get onto the other side of this conflict feeling like it was all worthwhile. And I feel like that's the intention that you really want to be setting for yourself at this time, is saying, kind of like what I said with this too, like it's okay to trust. It's okay to hope and to say, I want this to work out, and then I'm going to lean in and say, okay, I believe that it's going to work out. This also, I feel, has a similar energy. You want to set the tone to allow that to be the case. I'm also feeling here like when we talk about the benefits of the lunar eclipse, lunar eclipses are especially Eclipses are about resets, and a lunar eclipse is the internal reset. It's the divine feminine. It's the going within. It's the how you're feeling about things. So we need to reset internally before we then do our reset externally in the solar eclipse. So this lunar eclipse energy I feel right now is coming through to say, yes, you've been in conflict a lot. You've had a lot of internal turmoil, but now it's time to say, I don't have to let this dictate the next 6 months of my life, because the eclipse energy lasts for 6 months. This is like the peak of it on the 7th, but after that peak energy, it starts to unfold. And I feel like with this Five of Swords, it's choosing to say, I don't need to be in conflict with this anymore. I don't need to be in conflict with myself anymore. I can walk away from this conflicting energy. And instead, I step into the let all that go and move forward. It's about resolve. And I feel like when I'm looking at these two figures in the picture, this one hasn't completely walked away. This one's just standing back and is sad. There's still hope here. There's still an opportunity to make this right or to come together. And whether this is a coming together on an individual level for you, or whether this is coming together on relationships or on your relationship to your job or your relationship to your spouse, whatever it happens to be, I feel like this is indicating that all is not lost. And all it takes is one step towards the person to open up dialogue that is helpful and meaningful. So whether that's dialogue with yourself or with another, I feel like it's the intention that you're setting to have the conversation. What gift does the universe have for me during this lunar eclipse? What am I receiving? We always love our gifts. And I feel like for you earth signs, you've been giving a lot of yourselves lately. This is a time I feel like to receive, so what am I receiving? I feel like you need to set an intention to be open to receiving as well. Like the universe can send us stuff all day long, but if we're not open to receiving it, if our eyes are closed to what it is, if we're judging it or we're pushing it away, we're not receiving. And that's not good. Excuse me. Another 5, the Hierophant. So this is significant. You're moving through transformation. You're moving out of conflict. What's interesting is Taurus. This is the Taurus card. So I think that's really interesting that the Earth energy is coming through in your Taurus, through the Taurus card energy here. So the gift is about releasing the old beliefs, releasing things that you've been doing for decades or you've been doing for months and it's become by rote. I feel like the Hierophant in this card in particular is an invitation to walk a new path. You can create new beliefs along the way, but it is time, I want to say, to release what you've known, to release a little bit of the tradition, the little doggedness, the stuckness. This is not a time where dogma is going to work for you. This is a time where it's about going in deep, evaluating what those beliefs are. And are those beliefs still in service to where you're going and growing? Because if they're not, it's time to let that go and to choose a new path. Again, when I point out the 4 of Cups and that fear, you've already chosen the cup. You've already chosen the destination. It's okay to trust it and walk towards it. And that's what I feel this is indicating for you here. Wow, that's really cool. Who are you becoming during this potent time? And this really is a potent time. You want to really pay attention to your feelings and emotions and your needs during this time, because every thought you have is going to become something. Not from like a manifestation perspective, more from the fact that the feeling is so intense, the feeling is so ripe or concentrated that it has no choice but to become. All right, here we have 10 of Cups. Oh, I love this. So you're becoming your own best gift. You're becoming your own ideal outcome. all of those, I want to say, sort of seeds that you planted are now coming to fruition. And I don't want to say it's all sunshine and daisies, wine and roses moving down the path, but I do want to say to you that that is what is in your now. So receive it, expect it, be it, because this is who you're becoming. You're becoming the person who absolutely believes wholeheartedly that you're worthy and deserving of this outcome. And you're not afraid of the hard work, but you've already done the work. This is now about opening to the feelings of success, the feelings of joy, the feelings of elation, the feelings of connectedness and togetherness. And this card in particular makes me think of siblings. It doesn't feel like a mom, dad, and a child to me. It feels more like the older brother and the two sisters, and you're all at the beach. You're all having fun. You all understand your connection to source, your connection to one another. You're putting all of the other considerations to the side, and you're just embracing the delicious feeling of play. And I feel like during this potent time, this is what's going to be coming out. Take advantage of opportunities to get out and play. Not everything has to be so serious. There's plenty of time for serious. And quite frankly, there's plenty of serious out there. We need to counterbalance it with this playful energy. And you don't have to do it alone. Their hands are all together and they're formulating a triangle. It's a downward triangle, so an inverted pyramid. That inverted pyramid channels the energies of all that you are engaging with, and it stores that energy up for later. It's a pool of energy that all of you can access. So trust that what you need is here now, and it is going to be about you being in your feeling space, you feeling more aligned, more trusting, ready for that new journey and that new adventure. Trusting that you don't need more of this. You need more of this on the other side of it. I think that's really important. And I just want to point out 2 5s in a row, 5 and 5 equals 10. So we've got a lot of transformation that you're moving through. You're getting to the other side of it, which is new beginnings based on an already established foundation. So this is powerful stuff for you, Earth signs. Really important for you to lean into this. What card energy helps me lean into deeper trust with my soul journey so I can be fully open to my path with confidence? I love it. Judgment. So you've made this choice. I keep coming back to that. You've already made the choice. So the judgment says you've made the choice. The fire has been lit. You are being reborn. You are rebirthing yourself. And in my phoenix phases, I talk about, we have the phoenix burning, the phoenix growing, phoenix emerging, phoenix rising, and phoenix soaring. This is your phoenix emerging. You're in the birth canal. You've already made the choice to pursue the vision, and you're getting closer and closer to that vision. This is you getting ready to, like, you're crowning, right? I feel like all this fire is here. You're crowning. You're getting ready to make the choice to say, all right, world, I'm here, ready for that next chapter. And I'm doing it with a lot of passion. I'm doing it with a lot of renewed fervor. So when we are talking about that lunar energy, it is the internal, it is the intuitive, it is the deeply personal, but you're ready to put that out there. You've done a lot of this work. That 2, the 20, the 2 means that you are ready. This is part of the plan. So trust in the plan. This lunar eclipse is really, not only is it a reset, but I want to say it's that new beginning for you, a complete new beginning. It's a new volume of you, not just resetting to the next chapter. It's a resetting to the volume of you. So don't be afraid to choose, and don't be afraid to choose with passion. Fire is momentum, right? Fire grows when you add air to that. When you add oxygen to the fire is going to grow. So what are you breathing life into at this time? This is what's going to help you with that. I love that for you guys. Wow. How are you to best serve your community and the collective at this time? So, this is a tricky one because I feel like for you guys, you've been in service a lot. And yes, we are all part of the collective, we all have to contribute. But I also want to say, I feel like with you earth signs, some of the contribution is happening just by your presence being like you just being there. You know, you do provide, I want to say, a little more groundedness in general to the collective. So you don't have to do more of that. I want to say just be aware of that and maybe lean into that a little bit more. Let's see what the card has to say. Oh, interesting. The wheel. Love this. So this, when I look at this version of the wheel, it feels all about creation. We're looking at the spider web, and the spider just weaves webs all over the place. Their purpose is to weave the web, you know, and if you come by and you destroy the web, you rip the web down, the spider's maybe a little going to be a little angry with you, but is still going to continue to just weave the web, and they just create a new one. You know, that is what they do. And I feel like that is what you do. You naturally create. You know, earth signs, you bring in the magic. You really bring in the energy of that, you know, grounded Mother Earth. You're able to take your ideas and manifest them into the physical. I want to say in a way that is more innate than any of the other signs. So by you being you and doing you, you're going to help the collective. You're going to help your community to be able to anchor their own ideas, their own visions, their own exciting paths. And you're not even going to have to skip a beat in doing it. You just got to kind of walk your own path. I also feel like you want to do it with a little bit of pizzazz. Don't be afraid to shine your light. Don't be afraid to toot your own horn. People need to be able to see what it is that you're doing in order for them to be able to emulate it. And I feel like that's really important. Okay, so now I'm going to pull an anchor card for each of you guys. So we're going to start with our Taurus energy. This is an anchor card to help you harness the potent lunar energy for yourself. Queen of Wands. Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, so Tauruses, it's really important that you stand in your own power. No, you're not going to necessarily feel like you've got everyone's help or everyone's support or everyone's seal of approval. But quite frankly, the Queen of Wands doesn't need that shit. She just does it on her own. She figures it out. She finds a way. And that's what I'm feeling here for you with this Queen of Wands energy, is leaning into that. Yeah, sometimes it can be a little scary to break outside the box or to, I want to say, lean into something where you are kind of holding the bag. You know, it's all, the responsibility falls all on you. Not that you have a difficult time with responsibility necessarily, but I feel like maybe you're a little out of practice with it. And this is an encouragement to say, no, you've got this. You can do this on your own. The Queen of Wands is the only queen that doesn't have a safety net under her. She does have her familial. So she does have her, you know, her witchy ways. She uses her spidey senses, her psychic, to support the ideas and to create a foundation underneath of her. But she doesn't necessarily need someone to come in and do things for her. And that's what I feel that this is an invitation to do, is to get a little more in practice with that independence, that independent resourcing, and that independent choice to say, I don't need anyone's permission to move forward and do what it is that I need to do for me. That is how this lunar eclipse is going to really shift and change you in positive ways. All right, we have Virgo. So Virgo, this is an anchor card to help you harness the potent lunar energy. Seven of Swords. So yeah, it's all about getting real. It's about your integrity. It's about looking at the world around you and saying, I don't need anyone or anything else to be a gauge or a barometer for what I know to be my truth on the inside. And I feel like this next 6-month window for this lunar eclipse is really going to be about you getting very clear within yourself about what is your right and your wrong, what is your truth and your path, and what is not. And I do feel that there's a little bit of a black and white that's going on here, a bit of the extremes. Don't be afraid of this. I feel like this next 6-month window is going to be bringing you a lot of that obvious black and white energy or divisiveness or opposites. And all you have to worry about, you don't have to get into a space of judgment about it. It's more of that space of discernment, going within and saying, what's right for me? At the end of the day, that's all that matters. You don't have to question anybody else's this or that or the other thing. For you, it's about saying, no, what is right for me? What is it that I can take from this situation? Because when I take it from this situation, it gets me one step further on my path. And it leads me solidly onto that path. Not solid in a way that I get rooted and stuck and merry-go-round-ish, more rooted in the confidence that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing for me. Wow, that's powerful. Okay, and now Capricorns. Here is an anchor card to help you guys harness this potent lunar energy. Celebration with friends, community, getting out of your head. This isn't about being in service for you over this next 6 months as much as it's about getting out and having fun. You know, we talk about that 10 of Cups energy, bringing the joy, bringing the playfulness into it. I feel like it's allowing yourself to be supported by others and allowing more of a playful approach to your life in general. I feel that this is going to be a bit of a vulnerable time for you, Caps. Vulnerable in that you are shifting out of one way of being in service and learning how to be in service in more boundaried ways. This is something that has been coming up for you for the last couple of years. It's going to be a process for the next couple of years. But this 6-month window and this lunar eclipse energy, I feel, is laying the groundwork for this. It's giving you a bit of a roadmap or a blueprint to be able to do this and to be to allow yourself to be held, to allow yourself to not have to drive the bus all the time. Doesn't mean you're giving up your independence or your service altogether, but there is a shift in your approach to it. And there is a shift in terms of vulnerability and how you can be supported and lifted up during this time. And then this is a card for all earth signs on how you can best focus your individual energies for this lunar cycle. We have the Emperor. Yeah, so the lunar cycle is about that divine feminine energy, and here we have the divine masculine. So it's bringing a nice balance. You're receiving, you're absorbing, you're reflecting, you're nurturing yourself, you're making the shifts and changes kind of in the womb. And then the Emperor card comes in and says, all right, let's make this real. You know, let's bring this into being. And I feel like this is really a bridge, especially with the big sun card here too. I feel like it's a bridge to that solar eclipse. So whereas the lunar eclipse is very internal, the solar eclipse is going to be external. You're externalizing these internalized insights, this internalized reset. You're now going to be externalizing it. So do your work here, do your homework, because the externalization is coming right on the heels of this. Do the work in the next 2 weeks, because when the solar eclipse happens, you're going to be externalizing that. And then the two are going to be melding and meshing and blending over the course of that next 6 months. That feels really good. Wow. All right, Earth signs. That is your Transformational Tarot special edition for this lunar eclipse on September 7th. Wishing you a very happy eclipse season. Don't do a ton of manifesting. Instead, maybe just do some release rituals, connect with a lot of water, energy that's going to be soothing to your soul. Worship the moon a little bit. Get out and do some meditations in the moon and bring in a lot of that joy and that playfulness. You've got this. Until next time, we will see you on the flip side. Transform well.